Hey Padawans, happy Labor Day. I hope you guys didn't have to work today. I mean, it's not like anybody works around here, you know? Does anybody even work anymore? I'm just messing. I want to talk about one of my first jobs that was very, very difficult on me. Um, my brother in law had a friend that he was working for who was a roofer. They had a roofing company in San Diego here. And they had some contracts with other companies, mostly in San Diego and LA. And my brother-in-law says, "Hey, I need you. You want to work? We'll give you cash. You got to remember, this was in 1990s. I think I was only like 14, 15, and I worked for that company on and off, mostly during the summer when it was really hot. I worked up for that company about a couple of years on and off, like 6 months, and then you had like a couple of months off, and then you work again. But when you're talking about labor, that was one of the hardest jobs that I ever had. I got to be honest with you. Now the good part about it was, I get every Friday we all get cash, and you don't have to pay taxes. And it's not that I wanted that. It's not that I wanted to beat the system, but that's the way they were paying. They were paying in cash to the assistants, to the helpers, because I was just a guy, for labor, for hand labor. I was just a little kid, and they just needed me to carry all the supplies, all the roofing materials, and that's what they needed me for because nobody else wanted to do that. So we would hang out a lot of places like Santa Fe. Um, we did a couple of houses in LA, Rancho Bernardo, mostly very big homes. And what I had to do was, if my brother, it was mostly me and my brother-in-law working together. Uh, he was married to my older sister, so he would say, "Hey, go get the tiles. Go to the truck and get the tiles." And we were using mostly clay tiles because down here they like a lot of Spanish, roofs. So a lot of the homes had, that sort of reddish brown Spanish tile that's kind of long, and it's very heavy. And so I had to go down, and I had to actually use a ladder, okay, a large ladder to carry, tons and tons of these tiles all day long, okay, in the heat, in 100-degree weather. So don't ever come at me and tell me that I have never worked. All right? Now, also we had, these big rolls. Again, there's a lot of material that you have to lay on the roof, And we had all sorts of rolls. I remember, trying to remember what it was. It was like, okay, it had the rubber rolls, asphalt. We had like a plastic roll, uh, cement. What else? They were. All I can say is they were really heavy. There were some that we used that were concrete, some that was metal, like aluminum. Um, like the rubber one was very common. I remember. Uh, I remember that, and but a lot of people just wanted to have the clay tiles, and I know that today they don't they make it easier for roofers. They have like all these machines that uh, like they don't use manual ladders anymore. They have these robots to help them, load the tiles to the roof, machinery. Um, but I remember just being very hard work, very, very hard work. And we would all take a break up on the roof, and a lot of the guys were drinking beer. I don't know. Like I said, this was like mid '90s, so people get away with a lot of stuff. And I don't remember what the name of the company was, but we worked very hard, and we did a lot of roofs, and again, a lot of places in LA and Rancho Santa Fe. These houses had like huge, you know, roofs, and I'm surprised I never got injured, man, because I mean, trying to balance myself onto the top of the roof in this ladder, uh, I think I almost fell a couple of times, and I mean these huge rolls, these they were heavy, and you had to carry them on your shoulder. Okay. Now I know that roofing has advanced in technology. They use all kinds of rolling sheets now. They do all kinds of different. I know they have like a lot of like layers and durable metals and vinyls and all kinds of like wood. I know. I don't think I ever worked with wood. Like I said, it was mostly clay and it was mostly tiles. And these things would break. You know, if you drop them, they would break, bro. So you have to be real careful. And you lay out down all the panels and you roll the rubber and all this. And this is in very hot weather, very very hot weather, guys. I ain't kidding you. Okay. And I remember a lot of the tiles sort of look like I said, Spanish. A lot of them look like Italian. Uh, but most of them had the same coloring, like brownish red, you know, like the most common, I think that people use these days, or maybe not. I don't know. But and I know that nowadays they use more like metal seals and metal sheets, and they use a lot of different, more advanced, metallics and materials. It's kind of, it has advanced, it has evolved. But like early '90s, I think it was kind of simpler. And but yeah, I did this for a long, long time, and I was just sort of just like a guy helping out with the equipment, you know, with the materials, with the tiles, with the rolls, and just go up and down, go to the truck, grab some stuff, bring it up, go down. And I remember, drinking a lot of water and a lot of like I don't know if it was Gatorade, but it wasn't easy, guys. It was not easy. And I do remember working a lot of with asphalt. I remember that. I'm trying to. I mean, it's been a long time, but I got to say, I was not a fan of that job. The only thing that I really loved was the pay. I was getting. I mean, for being like a little kid, I was getting like $300 a week in cash, and so I was like a rich kid. I was like, I was going around drinking, buying, everybody drinks, taking out girls, taking girls out to dinner. So, I mean, because that's a lot of money back then, in like early '90s. Uh, I don't even think I was in high school. Um, anyway, I just thought I'd talk about that because it's Labor Day, and I guess I do have some experience with roofing. I don't consider myself a roofer or anything. I mean, because I'm not like a professional roofer, but I did learn a lot about the trade, about working hard, about working with people, working with different sorts of people, and getting along in real life, and hard work. And I think that's what's missing a lot these days in this generation. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video and the recording. And have a good Labor Day. Get some rest. See you guys soon, and may the force be with you. Bye.